quit playing yourself.
Hey, yo, quit playing.
Hey.
Quit playing yourself.
RadioUTD.
Opinions expressed on Radio UTD are those of the individual expressing them and are not necessarily those of the University Administration, the Board of Regents of the University of Texas System, or of the operating board of the radio station.
Good morning and welcome to the Mercury Morning News, a podcast by students for students to help get your week started. We hope you enjoy.
Live from the University of Texas at Dallas, this is the Mercury Morning News. I am one of your hosts, Abir Faisal. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, sure. I am Mickey Dolphin, and I'm the Assistant Marketing Director at AMP.
And I'm Gavin Arriaga, and I'm the EIC at AMP.
Allegedly. Is this thing working?
Oh.
We're having a little bit of mic trouble in the studio today.
The little screw fell off,
But yeah, I'm Gavin. I'm the EIC of AMP, in case you didn't hear me. Just in case.
Just in case.
Great to meet you guys. So is there any particular topic that you guys wanted to start off with in terms of the morning news?
Well, I mean, there's no shortage of stuff to talk about. I know we were briefly chatting about the, what was it? Apparently there's this, free speech, maybe not debate, but, yeah, well, I have it pulled up here between, FIRE versus UTD, which is apparently, what are they? They're like an organization that uses this metric, which we don't really know the parameters of, for measuring how free a particular institution is. And apparently UTD ranks pretty low for them.
Mm-hmm.
They're all about free speech, letting students voice their opinions, which, AMP is too, so we're all for that.
Yeah.
But sometimes FIRE's methods are a little questionable, so... FIRE were also one of the groups that defended Faraj during that whole...
Yeah, I noticed that. Yep.
It's not loading for me, that's okay.
There's one particular thing that stands out to me. Apparently, they were not satisfied with the university's definition of harassment,
Right.
which I think is kind of funny. Because pretty much every other source is it falls within the parameters of the Supreme Court's definition. FIRE's actually, no, sorry, you didn't meet our standards, so throw it out.
Right, and we're just some org, so you have to follow our standards.
Right, obviously.
And not the Supreme Court.
Yeah. That's how it works.
Their guidelines are so convoluted. I think we were all trying to read the article, and it's just so incredibly hard to understand because I feel like they hide whatever they say behind a bunch of buzzwords.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the thing, Gav, that you mentioned, what was it? Students self-censoring because of the quote-unquote liberal agenda, which I love, the unironic usage of the term liberal agenda, because, it can and does mean anything. It's anything, it means whatever you want it to mean. Did I, I don't know, did I, trip over a curb while I was walking to my car today? It's that liberal agenda.
Mm-hmm.
It's back at it again.
Darn you, Obama.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I really don't have much else to say about it apart from the fact that I am just a little puzzled.
Yeah, the whole thing is just kind of confusing.
Yeah, and I don't know. They just keep coming back at UTD for various it was first no, for the Faraj thing wasn't the first thing, but it was Faraj harassment policies. Free speech stuff, I don't know, and it never gets them anywhere, so it makes you wonder why they keep doing it.
They want to be special.
They really
They
do.
are special. They're so special.
They want the spotlight.
They're so special they keep coming back. Like you guys were saying, you can apply the liberal agenda to most literally anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they don't specify what they're censoring, but I mean, if they stood up for Faraj, it's pretty clear that they don't think that minorities deserve rights, which, if your definition of the liberal agenda is minorities deserve rights, I'm not really sure what kind of person you are.
Yeah. They're like, Faraj did nothing wrong. Also, please make your harassment policies stricter so that we can get away with more stuff. And it's okay, yeah, sure, that's totally a good faith argument.
Yeah.
I totally trust you. You're so normal.
You're being so normal right now.
They are totally winning the normal war right now.
The normal competition.
Yeah.
Oh my god, speaking of minorities, there's this whole thing where UTD announced that they're aiming to become a Hispanic serving institution. I don't know if y'all were reading about that.
I heard about that.
Something I was interested in because I'm Hispanic or something.
Yeah, go off about it.
Yeah, so basically, from what I understand, UTD currently has 18% full-time enrollment of Hispanic and Latino students, but they fulfill all the requirements for a Hispanic serving institution except for the enrollment rate, which would have to be 25%. And basically just what that does is it provides more funding, more scholarships for Latino students, other benefits. Something I was reading was it would provide it would allow them to offer a heritage language program, which would be really cool. Because that's something I did in high school was Spanish classes for people who grew up speaking Spanish. So instead of being aimed towards new learners, it's aimed towards heritage learners.
Interesting.
So all of that, yeah. I'm just monologuing, but it is something that sounded really cool to me. And I hope that that's something they can achieve, but I just don't know how UTD is planning to increase rates from 18% to 25%, because that's a big jump.
That is a big jump.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good goal to have.
Yeah. Serve Taco Tuesdays. I'm Hispanic. I promise I'm Hispanic. No, I don't know. I don't know what campaigns they have in mind to increase that gap, but it would be really cool if they could achieve it.
Yeah. I almost wish that heritage language stuff was just outright in schools to begin with.
I was surprised.
Yeah, because that sounds like a really good thing to have.
Because definitely, at least from my experience, I feel like a lot of Hispanic kids know how to speak and hear Spanish, understand listening, but they have a lot harder time reading and writing because it's, when you're talking with your parents, you pick up on the language, but you don't read as much in Spanish.
It's okay. It's just our
the
mic.
We're good. Don't worry about it.
We're just having, some issues. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it would be really cool. It would help people feel more included and everything. And I feel like that's something UTD is always aiming towards. Wonder how Fire would feel.
Maybe we should ask them. If anyone from Fire is listening right now, please, well, we can't take callers, but write in.
Yeah, leave a comment. Leave a comment on the website.
Deliver us a message via carrier pigeon. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. No, we can read comments live, or at least you can.
We can,
I
yeah.
can't see them.
We can't.
Not getting any comments so far, but Fire, we're here if you're listening.
We're here for you. It's okay. If you want to talk about it, we're here.
Sorry, baby girl, you can open
It's
Let's see. I don't know.
I mean, I'm assuming if we can't think of anything else, there's always stuff to talk about with parking.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
but I feel like we talk about parking every week with good reason. But I don't know. I just think the developments of I'm not going to say investigation because it's not really an investigation, but looking into sort of the quote unquote parking fraud epidemic that we are currently dealing with is very funny to me.
They're just being creative. They're just being creative about how they don't or do pay for parking.
Yeah. Or I think the funniest thing to me is just how surprised the whoever is in charge of, I think it's the parking office or whatever, the people in charge of it were they genuinely seem to be surprised whenever people ask them about it, and I'm why are you surprised? I don't know. That's my opinion on it. I just think it's very funny, but
no, it is.
Yeah,
parking is fairly expensive too. A good parking pass is 200 something, and I think Gavin, you mentioned this a few days ago, but it's more expensive for people with disabilities.
Yeah, so basically you have to pay the base parking pass fee, and then you pay for a disabled pass on top of that.
Oh my god!
So disabled students actually have to pay more for to get the handicap spots.
That's whack. If you're poor and disabled, sorry.
Which a lot of disabled people are. I'm not gonna say are poor, but have a harder time getting jobs.
Yeah, no, you're completely right, and that's the irony of it is that it's one of our more disenfranchised groups on campus
have
pay
to pay
up
more, which is crazy to me.
Yeah,
and it's crazy to me as a disabled person who walks to class every day because I don't want to pay for parking.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I walk all the way across campus. So let's see. Yeah, it's just, I mean, people are always gonna skirt the rules. There's always going to be at least one person who's trying to avoid parking fees, so it's not surprising. Yeah.
Yeah, on note of parking, I remember somewhere that I tend to park a lot, which is around the H lot near the Hoblitzel Hall, tends to have a lot of construction going on. What do you guys think of all the ongoing construction on UTD and how it's kind of been obstructing traffic, how it's been influencing traffic?
I mean, I haven't been like driving through or parking in a lot of the areas that people have kind of been talking and or complaining about. Like I drive in from Mesquite, so I kind of come in through the back. But it's interesting. There were a couple weeks near the beginning of the semester. I remember there was a particular like 4-way like stoplight that was out intermittently, where they wouldn't announce it ahead of time. It would just go out sometimes like during certain times of the day, and people would have to like just deal with it. I don't know. It's crazy. Like no, not to dig on you know UTD drivers or college drivers in general, but like people already are not maybe the safest or wisest of drivers, and so I feel like adding a lot of construction on top of that. Granted, it's for a reason. It's not like they're doing it for fun, but like
That's true.
Yeah, I just felt like doing some construction today.
Yeah, recreational demolition. Yeah, but adding that on top of it, I have been noticing more accidents, especially around what is it? The intersection between Waterview and Synergy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That one is like rough. People people be running into each other. It's
and
crazy.
definitely like this new museum that they're building near JSOM, that's also like covering up a lot of parking space.
Oh yeah.
Causing issues there when it's already so far away from JSOM. Like you have to walk so far.
It was so funny when we were talking to I forgot his name. The lad, the guy.
The guy?
The guy when we had lunch.
Oh my god.
The guy?
Yeah. Like I feel like because every time something gets announced, it's like, oh, wow, this is like such a cool, awesome development. They're like, oh, yeah, by the way, we're taking out another parking lot. I'm like, how many parking lots do we have left?
I was thinking the same thing, but I didn't know if I was going to say it out loud.
Yeah, well, I'll catch flack for it. It's fine. But I don't know.
I don't even know if we're supposed to talk about it.
Oh, whoopsie. Well, anyway, it's okay. You can
cover your ears.
You can find me later if you want to. But
yeah, every time like a new project gets announced, like a cool thing that we're like, oh, this would be so awesome. Like I'm glad they're adding it. But it's at the cost of like more parking being removed.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of unfortunate.
It's an interesting decision for a commuter school, I guess is all I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And that kind of brings us to the topic of overcrowding at UTD. There's definitely been an influx of new students. I feel like the student population increases like year by year, which is definitely a good thing because we do have a more diverse range of students now. But as you guys are saying, UTD is so focused on building new things, on constructing new things and focusing on infrastructure, that a lot of the time it comes at the sacrifice of students who are already there. So how do you guys feel about the overcrowding that's been occurring?
And I think we feel probably the same way everyone else feels about it, which is it crowded.
Crowding bad.
Like, yeah, that's the thing is like when you obviously like, yeah, the goal is to have, continued growth and whatnot. But at the same time, your students got to go somewhere. Like I know particularly with housing, either the wait lists have just been getting longer. The quality of the housing has been getting lower because it's getting old. It's starting to really show its age. I know back when we were talking about like pest stuff, that's part of many problems that people have had. And this has been an issue for a while. We were looking back at some old issues of AMP back from like 2018? Something like that, like pre-pandemic, and people were complaining about the same things.
It was a huge like 6-page spread. It was like a huge article.
They had like infographics and they had like photographs there, and like
really
it's the same thing. Like there really hasn't been any improvement in that avenue, and UTD has grown even so much within that small amount of time.
Yeah.
So it's like, it makes you wonder, do they have a plan? And if so, what is it? Because this school ain't getting any smaller. So
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because then it makes it harder on, like we already mentioned, parking. It makes it harder on your commuter students to go from place to place. It makes it harder on your students living in the res halls to live because of the conditions there. I have heard horror stories about the res halls. As a commuter, oh my god, I'm terrified for my life.
So glad I don't live on campus. I mean, hey, my house isn't anything to call home about, but like, I'm glad I don't live on campus.
Yeah.
Like if you ever go on, this is UTD bra moments on Instagram, they'll always be reporting something new, whether it's like a hygiene issue or a pest issue in the res halls.
Yeah.
And it just makes me really concerned as to, like you were saying, Mickey, I mean, how is UTD going to manage the students that they have irrespective of whether they live here or irrespective of whether they're a commuter. How are they going to manage everyone and still be willing to take in new students?
Yeah.
And still really market themselves as, oh, we're one of the best schools in Texas, which, arguably it is.
Yeah.
But how are you going to continue taking in students if you can't support the students you already have?
You already have.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
This is sort of, I can't figure out a way to pivot into this, but the comments to the core thing.
We can talk about that when we come back. We
have around 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So,
sweet. All right.
We can do a little intro to comments to the core.
Comments to the core. Comments to the core is this required class that most, if not all, students have to do.
I didn't tee.
Yeah, because you
I'm a transfer.
later, right? Yeah. But basically, it's just kind of supposedly teaching like essay writing skills, like working with a team, that kind of stuff. But the way it's run is just very unhelpful to everyone. And from what I understand, it's barely moderated by the actual professors grading it anyway. So if no one's even looking at your submissions, why should we have to do the asinine work? That's kind of my feeling about it. Did you ever do comments to the core?
I did it last year, I believe.
Oh.
And yeah, like you were saying, they barely moderate it. They would always tell us, oh, get in the same group as people that are in your class. They would not control that. Yeah. It was effectively just kind of Lord of the Flies situation, just leaving you up to whatever you wanted to do. Yeah. And then after the 5 weeks, it's just over. And that's it. Yeah. And you wonder, what did I pick up from this? Bare minimum, like, scheduling skills, dividing work up between people, and then you forget about it. Yeah. It doesn't teach any long-lasting skills as much as it does finish the work that you have to do for the credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the weird thing is, here's the thing. We have project management classes. Yeah. Just take those. Yes. Like, I learned, granted, I never did comments to the core, but, like, the things that they're describing in comments to the core are just worse versions of what they teach you to do in project management.
In proper classes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just, from what I've been told and from what I've seen, it feels like busy work for the sake of busy work. I don't know if it exists because of like a grant or something, but it just seems so pointless. I don't know anyone who's ever had a good experience or a useful experience with comments to the core.
Yeah, it's mostly just very exhausting to go through. We are going to head to the Mercury Morning News Report, and we will be back in a few minutes. I'll see y'all then.
Live from the Mercury newspaper at the University of Texas at Dallas, it's October 1st. I'm Andre Averion. The Foundation of Individual Rights and Expression, better known as FIRE, recently defended a student from deferred suspension and a professor from being investigated for a homophobic tweet, have accused UT Dallas of going against the language used to define the freedom of speech by the Supreme Court. These policies include sexual harassment, non-discrimination, verbal abuse, sexually explicit material, and the use of flags, many of which FIRE believes is worded too vaguely and can be used to manipulate or unreasonably punish students. The university has yet to respond with comments about these accusations. Overcrowding on campus has begun to disrupt classes as professors and teacher assistants report that it is becoming more difficult to find classroom space or seats for students. Similarly, students reported having trouble finding study rooms in the resident halls and in the library, with many students arriving to class with nowhere to sit. Administration has acknowledged campus infrastructure needs to keep pace, but outside reinventing the student union and installing a track complex, there are no concrete plans to address this growing issue. As parking prices increase and space becomes limited this semester, illegal parking has spiked along with enrollment. An anonymous survey concluded that 34% of students have had to park in locations not assigned to their parking pass, and 21% have stated that they share a parking pass with another student. Students have cited the increased expense as the cause, with some others pointing out that UT's commuter and transportation culture is the real concern, suggesting that the lack of affordable housing, convenient sidewalks, and the current bus services for commuters play an influential role as to why this is happening. Student veterans are facing stigmas and adjustment problems upon entering at UT Dallas, with one veteran stating that their college life has been more difficult than enduring war. The Military Veterans Center is fighting to combat negative bias for returning Americans, and the center is currently reinventing their space to better promote health and wellness for student veterans and provide support in terms of financial aid. The mayor of Richardson, Bob Dibley, came to support student government for National Voter Registration Day, advocating alongside students. Only 1 out of 4 eligible citizens are registered to vote, a shocking number that becomes increasingly concerning as college-level participation in local elections are declining. Registration will remain open online for all citizens until November 7th of this year. This has been the latest from the Mercury newspaper. Now back to our live program, The Mercury Morning News on Radio UTD every Sunday at 10 p.m. CT.
Welcome back to the Mercury Morning News. If you're just tuning in, I am Abir Faisal, host of Fairlight on Radio UTD.
I am Mickey Dolphin. I'm the Assistant Marketing Director at AMP.
And I'm Gavin Arriaga. I'm the Editor-in-Chief at AMP.
All right, so we were just talking about Comets to the Core and how inconvenient it is, how it's effectively a watered-down version of project management classes.
Yes.
So would y'all like to continue on that topic or perhaps discuss something else?
I mean, I don't have anything else to say about it.
I was just going to describe a little bit what it's like for anyone who hasn't taken it. At least when I took it. I've heard it's changed since then and gotten worse, actually, so I could share a little bit of that. But when I took Comets to the Core, basically what it was it was like a research project, like a research essay, only they give you the document with all of the research in it already done, so you just have to read the document. And then they ask you to provide an answer to a question out of 3 possible answers that they write for you, so you just have to pick. And 2 of the answers are obviously really bad, and 1 of the answers is obviously really good. So everyone just turned in the same essay.
And how many people are in one class at a time in
one class?
How many people take how many essays are they getting back?
I have no idea.
Because I'm saying if it's over 100, I no wonder they don't look at them.
Exactly,
that's so pointless.
I wouldn't be surprised if professors didn't want to read the same essay 300 times. I have no idea how many students.
I don't know why they do it like that.
And what I've heard is because there's also a video portion where you have to make the video with the rest of your group. And I have heard the rumor, I have no idea if this is true, that someone submitted a video of them eating cereal and got full marks. So.
I hope that's true. Yeah. Well, once again, I'm not surprised if it's
No, I wouldn't watch it either.
Yeah.
And that sucks because video editing's not easy.
No.
So just imagine going to the trouble of meeting with your group every week for 5 weeks or however long, and then putting together this project, and then
no one looks at it.
They don't even look at it. It's
okay. As long as you submit a file, you get 100.
That's whack.
Yeah. You get the credit. And then I was hearing from my friend Sneha, who also works at AMP, that when she's taking Comets to the Core right now, I believe.
Oh.
And their assignment now is all about AI, because UTD loves to talk about AI for some reason. I don't know, every business class I'm in, my professor's always like, so what do y'all think about AI? And I'm like, I don't care. And so right now the project is they give you a paper that was supposedly written by AI, and you have to fix the mistakes that the AI made. Which, what?
Free troubleshooting.
Yeah, literally just
That's
copy
so
editing.
funny.
It's really bizarre.
That's so funny.
So I don't know who that helps.
The AI.
Honestly, I feel like if it were accurate, which it's not, but if it were accurate, it would just kind of be helping students learn how to pass papers off as not AI.
Oh.
Which I don't know. I don't know what their goal with that is.
I don't think they know what their goal with that is either.
No, they just want to give, again, busy work. They just want to give you something to do to prove that you're alive.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even think it does a very effective job of proving that you're alive, quite frankly.
No.
You could hire a ghostwriter to do all your work for you, and you'd still pass, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It really doesn't do anything. I mean, I believe every freshman, irrespective of major, has to take that Comets to the Core class. So that's around 1,000 people that are doing it. I wouldn't expect them to go through every single thing, and they're not learning a whole lot. On the note of AI, though, that is, a hot button issue.
Oh, God,
People, I often see a lot of articles where teachers or professors are like, oh, we'll use AI to help our students in some way, but then like almost all the time on the syllabus, it's listed as do not use AI, do not touch it ever. So how do y'all think AI could possibly be incorporated into the classroom environment? And like you guys are saying, I mean, this whole editing thing can just be help students pass off their own work as AI.
Or the other way around.
I honestly haven't heard any professors sort of speaking the praises of AI. Most of the, I mean, granted, I'm an A-Tech, so we sort of have a very rocky relationship with the nature of AI in creative spaces, of course, but so far, I haven't heard any professors sort of flirting with the idea of using AI in an academic setting. Have any of you guys?
Yeah, I've had some professors say, like, which this is something I agree with, that you can use AI as, like, a jumping off point for, like, brainstorming purposes, but that the actual work should be your own.
Right, yeah. I don't think that's a controversial view at all. I mean, I pretty much agree with that.
I did have a professor talking about how there was this like coworker of hers that didn't feel super comfortable in social settings and didn't feel comfortable like sending people emails in like a chatty conversational tone. He would just send like exactly what the information was that the other person needed, and people would respond negatively to that. And so he started using AI to write his emails for him, and people responded way better to it.
Interesting.
So, you know, it can be helpful for writing stuff. Just, you know, be careful.
Yeah, as with many things, I think the name of the game is using it in moderation.
Yeah.
Heavy emphasis on moderation. I definitely am not, like, I think everyone has, not everyone, but like a lot of people who at least know what AI is have like tried it in one way or another, whether it be like through image generation. I'm sure.
Chatbots,
yeah. Well, like, AI Dungeon. I remember before you had to pay for it. I used to play that a little bit. What is it, like Art Breeder? The sort of image. There's like a bajillion different image. Now there's like AI like animation, like film. What is it? Like film simulation. It's strange.
Cool.
So it's like definitely developing at a rate, but I don't know. I think like as soon as you start depending on it as the whole, that's kind of where you make your mistake. Because like it really, that's the thing. If they're teaching an entire class of like, here's something that an AI wrote, fix it. Like that tells you that it is not at the level where you can use it to that degree.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Even if it got to that level, I still don't think we should. But
No,
yeah,
for sure.
Right.
I don't know.
You still need like a human touch to it.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
I was just going to say that the thing about writing, I mean, specifically in this context, writing with AI, is that AI is often kind of robotic and kind of just shills out whatever it can based on information that is gathered.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's effectively a robot, but like you were saying, Gavin, I mean, that's a person writing it is what adds a human touch.
Yeah.
And just editing something that an AI wrote isn't enough to add that human touch. It's just being a copy editor, effectively.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I was going to say something and I forgot it.
Do we want to go? We focus a lot on UTD Central News. Is there anything else kind of niche outside of UTD that you guys were particularly interested in?
I mean, it's not like entirely outside of UTD because I do have a UTD related plug for this thing. But we do have a partial solar eclipse coming up on Saturday, October 14th. And UTD is doing a, I suppose, like viewing event. And anyone can come. It'll be, I believe, in the Science Pavilion, that nice, like, big sort of grassy area between the two halves of the Science Building. And I think they're going to be doing it from, like, 10 to 12 or something. It'll be, like, late morning. But there should be more information coming out about that soon. But they will have, like, you know, viewing tools there. I think they'll have eclipse glasses. They'll have a few monitors so you don't burn your retinas out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't just like look up at the eclipse, guys.
Yeah, I know it's pretty. Please do not look directly at it. You can and will damage your eyes permanently.
Yes.
Treat it like local 58, effectively.
Yeah, exactly. You can like look near it, just don't look at it.
Yeah.
But that's a cool thing that's coming up, and I believe we're getting a total eclipse sometime in the spring.
Oh, very fascinating.
I don't remember what month, but we are getting one eclipse this semester and then another one next semester, and next semester is the big one. So that's very fun for people who enjoy looking at the sky.
And the sun.
And the sun
Burning
and
your
objects
eyes.
that hurt your eyes that are in space.
Yeah.
I guess a not particularly niche UTD event, since this did happen in the student union, but something I thought really cool was they had 80s night. I believe,
I went to that.
Around September 18th. How was that? I would love to know.
Oh, were you not there?
No, I wasn't. I walked past, but I was on my way home, so I didn't get to see it. So
you're like, I got better things to do. I'm kidding.
I have a curfew. I got to stick to it.
No, it was a lot of fun. I unfortunately was not able to stay for the full set. I think I stayed for like the first half hour. It was great. I love Strings Attached. I love all the really, really cool events that they put on. It did rain that day, and it sucked because I saw them when they were setting up outside, and then because I was heading to class, and I came back and I saw that it was already raining by that time, and they had stripped it down and taken it inside. Unfortunately, the student union, that area of the student union in general, is not a great place to hold concerts. It definitely works a lot better in the plinth, so it sucked that the weather wasn't cooperative, but they did have a backup plan, and honestly, props to them for keeping the energy up, even though they ran into weather problems, they ran into technical difficulties. I remember there was a little bit of a feedback issue with one of the mics, but like, they powered through it. I don't know. I think they're a bunch of very talented people.
Oh, for sure.
And I love going to their events and buying their merch and giving them money.
I guess I have always wondered why the plinth has that like half covering that doesn't actually do anything against rain.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the purpose of that
the
is.
lattice thing that goes up over. I think it's just so the wisteria can grab onto it. I don't think it's to actually keep any weather out.
It's not a real roof.
No, it looks cool, but no, it doesn't
not
actually
helpful.
protect against any kind of. If anything, it just like it makes the raindrops bigger because they sort of coalesce on it and then fall directly on my glasses, and it pisses me off.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
I've had like full chunks of snow like fall on me.
Oh my God.
or ice fall on me because like they all like kind of coagulate together
and then it melts.
Oh yeah.
That's so scary. I think I would scream.
Yeah, but we've seen a lot of performances from both local bands. RadioUTD had their Pseudo Stereo.
Yeah, I also went to that. That was a lot of fun.
It was. How was that as well? I'd love to.
It was fun. Once again, unfortunately, I was not able to stay through the entire set. I think I stayed.
More than I did.
Yeah, I showed up because they what was it? Strings Attached were the opener, and I think they played like 3 songs.
Right.
And then I'm a fake fan because I forgot the band. There was 2 bands. There were 2 bands that played after that.
There was Lipsticker and Young Dean.
Yes. Yeah. And so I think I left part of the way through the first one, not because it wasn't good, but because I had to get home.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I thought it was really cool how they sort of like. Obviously, it was a music event, and you were there for the music, but they also had like a boba truck there, so people were getting. I don't remember if it was free. I think they advertised it as free boba. I didn't get any, but they had boba there, and then they also had these really cool custom T-shirts that I can't remember his name. The illustrated by
Noah.
Noah, yes.
Yeah.
It has a cool wizard on the front. I got one, and it's very cool, and I like
now
it.
I want one.
It was very funky, yeah. The amount of performances have been absolutely amazing. Something that I've kind of noticed is a lot of these bands tend to have kind of a retro theme to them. I remember when I went to the very beginning of Pseudo Stereo, there was a band, or maybe this wasn't it. It was at Pseudo Stereo. They were playing a cover of, I think it was Miki Matsubara's Stay With Me, a C-pop song.
It was good.
It was really good. So how do you feel about kind of with this coupled with 80s night, kind of the re-rise of retro music, and especially at UTD?
I mean, I guess it's like that with a lot of that's just music.
Yeah,
like every
it's always gonna come
decade,
back in cycles.
yeah, every decade we just go back 2 decades and be like, hey, remember this? And then we just play it a lot, and then another decade passes, then we go back 2 more decades. We're like, hey, remember this? But
Like,
I think
I
it's
wasn't
cool.
even alive, but hey, remember this?
Hey, remember this thing that I wasn't around for?
Yeah.
No,
So
but I love that.
nostalgic.
Yeah, I love that because like it. I'm blanking on the. I was gonna say a thing and I just had like a huge brain fart moment. Like it's cool that people are going back and listening to things that they did not grow up with.
Yeah.
I think that is really cool and awesome. And I think like I don't know, just the fact that we have places for live performances on campus and they've been happening somewhat regularly, I think it's cool because it opens people up maybe to music genres that they maybe wouldn't have been receptive to otherwise.
Yeah, totally. I mean, me personally, I kind of did grow up with some of that because my parents really liked like 80s and 90s music. Like they played a lot of like AC/DC and stuff.
Oh, sweet.
So I did grow up with like a lot of like older rock music. I say older, it's not that old. But it's always cool to like expand your horizons and stuff. So
for sure.
Yeah. I unfortunately just grew up with Christian rock, so anything is good in my book.
Yeah.
I'll take anything.
Oh yeah. Something that I've noticed about a lot of, like you guys have said, I mean, people have done it time and time again, really, in music, is that they've brought back genres from the past. I'm specifically thinking of, like, in the late 90s, around 96, 97, there was revival of the easy listening genre in a lot of jazz.
I love jazz.
I.e.
Like jazz?
Mambo number 5.
Mambo number 5.
Revival of
when are they going to release Mambo number 6?
Oh my God.
I'm at the edge of my seat.
I've
please.
been waiting for years.
I've been waiting.
Lou Bega, if you're listening, please send
Please
us.
drop Mambo
would
number
love
6. I can't take it anymore.
But something interesting about kind of the revival of retro music in the past few years is it feels like every genre is kind of culminating at once.
Yeah, I feel like you can think of like 80s music, 70s music, and there's like a very specific vibe to it, like a very specific genre.
Oh, yeah.
And it's hard to think of that for like 2020s right now, you know?
I mean, I'd say, I don't know, because like it's not that like there weren't diverse genres
No,
back
obviously.
then. I think like certain decades become known for certain genres based on what's played on the radio, which makes sense because that's what the most people hear. But I mean, like, I don't know. I say pop is big now. Pop has always been big. That's why it's called pop, because it's popular. But I don't know. I do think that I think that like maybe this decade won't be quite as distinctive.
Yeah.
But I do think that as time goes on, we will associate it with a certain vibe. I think also partially the reason why it feels so like jumbled and diverse is because of how easy music sharing has gotten. Like I know, you know, the rise of like TikTok and just social media in general and the ease of like sharing and introducing people to new music. Like that's how I discover a lot of stuff. Is just I come across it either, you know, on like
I'm a filthy TikToker.
I'm not, unfortunately.
Everyone's like, I can't believe you're into that song just because it's on TikTok. And I'm like, yeah, and?
Fun.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how you find it. I find a lot of stuff like recommended on like Twitter or like recommended on YouTube or recommended by friends of mine. But yeah, like I think people, I'm hoping this is true. I could just be completely making this up. But I think people now it is easier to build a larger repertoire of like music that you have interest in, if that makes sense.
Right. We just got 2 comments. One says, I think 2020 unfortunately does have a dominant sound and it's not good. I would... Actually, let's talk about that for a minute. And then the other comment said, filthy TikTok.
TikTok. True.
Did they say what the distinctive sound is?
They didn't say.
You gotta specify.
I mean, the first thing I think of when I think of like a bad 2020 sound is probably the like ABCDEFU, like that kind of thing.
The what?
Like,
do
you not know that song?
No.
It's like a TikTok song where it's like there's a bunch of songs lately that have been like playing on like common phrases or nursery rhymes.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, oh, see, it's a good song because it's a pun. It's clever, and it's like you forgot to make the music good though.
You forgot to make it good, actually.
The constant. Yeah, there's a big uptick in like using like common phrases or nursery rhymes, like you were saying, Gavin, but also using sampling. And I think sampling is really good when used to a certain extent.
Yes.
But if you base your entire discography off sampling and you're not innovating with the sound, you're not doing anything new with it, it just feels like ripping off another sound, especially with retro sounds, just ripping off another sound and kind of, you're changing up the lyrics a little bit. It's a new voice, but what else is there?
Yeah, get creative with it. Yeah. I mean, that's I think the basis of sampling is you're not supposed to just depend on that and that alone. You use it to add it's like seasoning. You add it as a little flavor.
I feel like the best sampling is like when you don't even notice until someone points it out.
Yeah.
And it's just like an added layer.
I love like really obscure samples. Oh my god, there was what's it called? There's this song, I think it's this Russian song that no one has been able to find the title or credit for. And I think it's called like the most unknown song
on
or
the
something.
internet. Oh my god.
Yeah, and people apparently we still don't know exactly what it is. I think it was a demo tape that was played on the radio a long time ago that they never like, I don't know. There's very little information about it, but that thing has been sampled I've heard in a lot of like, weirdly enough, video game music. A lot of like indie games I've played have sampled that. Specifically like, what is it? There's like a Doom mod, myhouse.wad that uses it in a really, really cool way. But I don't know. It's just, I love really obscure music samples used in creative ways where you don't notice it until someone brings it up. You're like, whoa, I never knew that.
Yeah.
We got 2 more comments. Yeah, ABCDEFU, but also randomly mediocre country music. Absolutely. On top of the Billboard the past few months has been the most mediocre bro country I've ever encountered. What happened to good country? What happened to Katie Lang? Why don't we play Katie Lang anymore? I don't get it.
I don't know. Well, is it like country pop? Is that like what they're playing?
Kind of. It's like the Morgan Wallen, Luke Bryan type.
Because I don't listen to any. I don't know what it sounds like. I don't listen to
If you've ever listened to Bo Burnham's parody of a country song, that's effectively what all country music sounds like nowadays.
Okay. I mean, I've heard some, because there is good country out there. Like, that's the thing, is when people are like, oh, I listen to everything but country. It's like, no, country's got some bangers. It's it has a lot of stinkers too. I don't know. Like, the only country artist I've been listening to is like Orville Peck. That's really it lately. Yeah. But yeah, rip to country enjoyers. I wish that the country music on the Billboard Top 100 was better right now.
Oh yeah.
I like a lot of older country, but I haven't been listening to it like recently, so I don't know what it's like. I feel like the closest thing to like recent country I've listened to was like Old Town Road.
That counts. We'll say that counts. Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
For sure. There used to be so much good old country, and like you were saying, Mickey, it kind of disheartens me as well when people kind of put down country as a whole. They're good artists, like I was saying. There's Katie Lang, there's John Mellencamp, there's Martina McBride, there's Shania Twain. But it's unfortunate we don't get artists like that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's just... Yeah, another comment. How do we feel about the Troye Sivan sample on the topic of sampling?
I don't know what that is. I do not keep track of Troye Sivan.
You just assumed we would know. That sounds familiar, though. I've heard that name.
Commenter, are you referring to a sample from his newest song, Rush? Because
we got the one Troye Sivan enjoyer.
I'm not Troye Sivan enjoyer.
The one guy in the back of the crowd, like, yeah,
whoa. I just was a big fan of the song because of the very like deep house energy of it. And then the Pink Panthers and Hyunjin from Stray Kids remix.
Ooh.
That was super fun.
Okay, maybe I have to give it a listen.
It is very good. I love Pink Panthers with my heart and soul.
Me too. She's so cool.
For real. A little biased because I do run a retro show here on RadioUTD, but I do love the revival of like 90s house electronica and drum and bass. I think it's super fun.
Oh my god, drum and bass. I've been on such a drum and bass kick lately. I've been listening to... There's this DJ who used to be really active in the 90s, and I think he's still making music, but I don't think he's like live. DJ Khaled. I don't think he's live DJing anymore, but I think he's from Britain. What's his name? Andy C. And he's this really, really skilled drum and bass DJ who's known for like spinning 3 discs at one time, which is like insane. And there's like videos on YouTube of his like live sets, and they are insane-o. They're so cool. But I've been listening to a lot of those just because it's, I don't know, I love drum and bass. It's very intense and cool.
Yeah, we just got another comment. It's the newest song. I think it's called Got Me Started. The sample is very random. The sample is from Bag Raiders Shooting Stars, which if you remember that meme from like a few years ago.
Yeah. So they sampled that song.
Meme where like people go flying?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
It's the kid on like a go-kart or something.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
do they specifically
so specific? I can't imagine it like.
Do they specifically sample like the do like that part?
I haven't heard the song. I have to listen to it after the show.
Yeah, it's just
I mean, good for them.
On whosample.com, a very reliable source. It does say, yeah, I believe it's that part, the specific meme part.
The meme part.
I mean, hey, you know what? Good for them. Here's the thing. It's a recognizable sample.
Yeah.
If that's what they're going for, then I think they achieved it. If it's a good sample, I can't say whether it is or not, but I don't know. It's recognition. People recognize that noise.
That's true. Another commenter says, these are the opinions I wake up in the morning for.
Oh my god.
Thank you. You're giving us way too much credit. We're just a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
We're having so much fun.
We're just some little guys in a studio.
We're just some little guys in a studio.
We're silly, goofy guys.
So true.
We're silly geese.
Babe, you're like the silliest goose I've ever met.
Babe, your acceptance letter from Silly Goose University just came back. You got it.
All right, is there anything more niche UTD that we wanted to talk about potentially?
I was going to talk about this past week, we had an early celebration of International Animation Day a month ahead of time, and I believe the reason we did that was because we have a speaker here during actual International Animation Day, so we couldn't hold the celebration that day. But we had 2 days of screenings in the afternoon, 27th to 28th, so it was Wednesday and Thursday. And partially that was run by the Experimental Animation Lab with Dr. Barris, but that was very cool, very successful. I only was able to go to the first day of that. They were screening short films, the short film winners from the Annecy Festival from, I think, this past year. And first day was like the adult animation. Second day was like kid-friendly animation. So I was only able to make it to the first one, the adult one. It was so cool. Oh my God. Yeah. I walked out of there and I was like, I need to start working more on my animation project because I am very inspired right now. But it was so cool and awesome. We do this every year, so if that's something that people are interested in, please show up to that. The more people come, the more likely we are to be able to do it each year. But yeah, shout out to Dr. Varus for providing that screening and letting people watch this stuff that they otherwise, I'm assuming, probably wouldn't really have access to. Yeah, I don't know. There was some really cool, a lot of French animation this year. Really? I noticed there were, I think, 2 French shorts, one from Belgium. I think there was one from Denmark. I don't remember. I don't want to spread misinformation on the internet, but I don't know. You can look it up.
It's fine.
I love lying. I love lying so much.
On the internet. It's so funny.
But I mean, we have a page up for it, like on the UTD comic calendar, I think, so you can like see what played. But yeah, that was a really cool opportunity. Really enjoyed it.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
On note of animation, that's really great because a lot of people may not pay attention to animation as a genre. I know a lot of people have the misconception that, animation is a kid's thing. Yeah. There is a lot of amazing animation. There is a lot of amazing adult animation. So that's a fantastic opportunity for people to be able to explore the realm of animation. Very nice.
Yeah, for sure.
On note of animation, when we're finishing up now, Gavin, you were really excited about a particular game announced in a Nintendo Direct.
God. I was just really happy watching the Nintendo Direct. That was about 2 weeks ago now, because they have been teasing this new Princess Peach game. It looks really cute, and honestly, obviously I'm a Princess Peach fan. She's a girly. She's amazing.
She's a real one.
But just in general, it's cool to see the Mario franchise branching out, because I feel like it's so many games where it's just hey, you're Mario again. It's can we get literally anything else? So getting to see it's Princess Peach as the lead of the game. Oh, it's Luigi as the lead of the game. It's really cool just getting to see new stuff. And then there's even a new villain in this game with what is she called? She's the grape. The sour grapes. So it's just cool. They're adding new Mario characters, adding new lore. It's fun, and it looks really cute. It looks probably it'll be more kid oriented, which makes sense for the franchise, but I'll probably still play it. It looks adorable.
Very nice, very nice.
She's a little sword fighter.
That's so cool of her. I need to watch the trailer. I haven't seen it yet.
It's so cute.
So we have around 2 minutes left. Any finishing notes y'all would like to add?
Princess Peach is so cool.
She is.
Pink Panthers is also so cool.
Girl boss.
We love girl bosses here at RadioUTD.
We do.
And at Student Media and at AMP and the Mercury.
Yeah.
And all
girl bosses.
STUMI affiliated.
If you want to be a girl boss, come join Student Media.
So true.
Well, thank you so much to all our listeners for listening to us silly, goofy guys in the studio today. Us silly geese. Next up, we're going to have some of our new music tracks. We have Birds of Paradise by Yusuf Days, kind of a lovely jazz soul type of track. We have My Love, Mine, All Mine by Mitski, who we can talk about for a little bit. Off of her new album, The Land is Inhospitable, and So Are We. And then What a Difference She Made by Jalen Gonda from the album Come Around and Love Me. Absolutely gorgeous soul album. Y'all should check it out. How do y'all feel about the new Mitski album? Just to quickly wrap things up.
I still need to listen to it. I love Mitski. I need to listen to her new album so badly.
I haven't listened to any Mitski.
We'll indoctrinate you.
Yeah,
we'll
indoctrinate you
to the Mitski
I just
war.
need the push. I just need someone to shove me headfirst into her albums, and then I'll get into it.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
I volunteer. It'll happen. If you can get me into OnStars, I can get you into Mitski.
I was successful.
The indoctrination worked. I'm suffering.
You're suffering. Please don't suffer.
I'm suffering in a good way.
Okay.
Recreational suffering.
Recreational
That's the name of my radio show that doesn't exist.
That would be a great radio show.
It would.
I love that.
Yeah. Mitsuki has finally come like full circle, I feel, especially in the song My Love, Mine All Mine, where she kind of acknowledges that even if relationships end, even if things do end, the love that you gave and the affection that you have always will belong to you. So it kind of feels like she's come through all these themes of yearning and of loss in her songs and finally come to a point where she's satisfied with what she's done and what she's given.
That's so awesome.
sweet.
I love that. Yeah, there's for weirdly enough, when you said that, there was a quote that I've heard before that stuck out to me. I think it's from a text post somewhere, but it's like I am a mosaic of everyone I've ever loved, and I think that is like such a poetic way to describe probably what she's doing in her new album.
That is a gorgeous closer, and with that, we finish off the Mercury Morning News. Thank you for listening.
Hi, we're Pearl Earl, and you're listening to Radio UTD.
University Blood Initiative is coordinating with Carter Blood Care to kick off the Young Blood program. On October 9th from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. in the SSA Auditorium, a variety of speakers will discuss the importance of donating blood and related topics. We will also open sign-ups for interested students to take part in the Young Blood Experience, where they can tour the Carter Blood Care facility, hear about transfusion medicine from speakers, and apply for exclusive job opportunities. For more information, follow @UTD Blood Initiative on Instagram.
with a dimple smile that blind men can see from a country mile. Like waking up in the summer to a distant sun above. She came to me and she gave me love. She lives on the street in a neighborhood where the folks down there don't live so good. But every night on the avenue, she lights up the sky as she sings the blues. Like waking up to the sounds of birds singing high above. She came to me and she gave me love. Despite all the news that's gone around, with every moment each passing bliss, all to suffer was a gentle kiss. She came to me and she gave me love. What is it from Shemaine? What a difference she made. Oh, what a difference, baby. And I love her so, won't let her go. What a difference, baby. Oh, yeah. What a difference, baby.
For frightful sights and tasty delights, please join the Bass School of Arts, Humanities, and Technology for the Monster Mash. The Monster Mash at the Bass will be hosted on October 31st from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. in the ATEC lobby. For more information, check out @UTD